of 2,000 women has Turner syndrome.
And I'm that one. That's right, I am one of 2,000. People like to use that number a lot, sometimes to remind us that there are more of us than we think, and sometimes to show us just how unique we are. And what is Turner syndrome, you ask? We'll get to that in a moment. First, there's another number I want to share with you, 2%. Just 2% of those with Turner syndrome actually make it to birth and become one of the 2,000. 2%. Here's the story of one of the 98%, a girl with Turner syndrome who was never born, but today she becomes one of the 2,000.
Some of my earliest memories are that of doctors. They weren't frightening, but they were kind, but I couldn't quite understand what they were saying.
Your daughter's blood sample reveals she has classic Turner syndrome. That means instead of having 2 X chromosomes, she only has 1. She's going to be fine, but we're going to have to run some more tests to see if she has any of the commonly associated health impacts. We'll check her heart and kidneys to start. Don't worry, I have a medical team who will help guide you and your daughter through the medical care she'll need.
Now that I'm a little bit older, I guess you could say that's when I was diagnosed. But diagnosis isn't just one moment in time.
It's an ongoing conversation. Wake up, time for school. One of the most common impacts of Turner syndrome is short stature. Women with Turner syndrome are usually no taller than 4'9", but growth hormone can help girls gain a few extra inches. It's a daily injection that you can give your daughter until she's about 13. We'll talk about why soon. You can even help her learn how to administer the injection yourself.
Mom, can you help me with my shot?
I've got it.
Wait, can I try it myself?
Sure, go ahead.
I did it!
Woohoo! Okay, now you're gonna be great. And catch the bus. Hey, you got that!
I found these weird things in my sister's bathroom yesterday. They looked kind of like little mouse toys for a cat, but my mom told me that they're for your period. She told me that I'll get my period soon because my boobs are already pretty big and I have to wear a bra so that boys don't stare at me. It's kind of gross, but my mom says it means I'm finally becoming a woman.
Girls with Turner syndrome often don't go through puberty on their own. Estrogen can help. It will also help to increase her bone density to decrease the risk of osteoporosis. Your daughter can start estrogen right around the time of puberty as she's finishing growth hormone. Estrogen closes growth plates, so it's difficult to get both benefits at once. Unlike growth hormone, there are no injections to give. She'll just take hormone replacement pills or use a patch.
I'm going to start the patch soon, but until then, I remember what my mom always says. I am just as much of a woman as anyone else. Hey, Mom.
Homework time! Some girls and women with Turner syndrome may have nonverbal learning disorder, or NVLD. This can make math, multitasking, and even driving difficult, which can lead to frustration in and out of school. You can work with your daughter to practice skills she needs for success, building on her strengths in verbal learning and organization. Your school may also be able to help.
I may be small, but mentally I'm as big as everyone else. We come together today sharing so much, but what also brings us together are all the things that make us different. These differences are not limitations. The only limitations are those we put on ourselves. Instead, we leave here today with one goal: to embrace our differences as strengths. We do so, and we take control of our own circumstances. I don't know what the future holds, but I know we will each have a say in ours. Join me today as we find our own path. I still don't know what my path is.
What about kids?
Well,
Many women with Turner syndrome cannot have children on their own. They may not produce eggs, and their doctors may tell them it's too dangerous to carry a child. But there are options.
I guess I could look into fostering a child for adoption.
Or if you get approval from your doctors, you could try in vitro fertilization. But it can be very risky for women with Turner syndrome, particularly if they have a heart condition as a result.
Maybe I'll marry a guy who already has a kid and become a stepmom, or as I like to say, a bonus mom.
Surrogacy may also be an option.
Or maybe kids aren't part of my future, and I will be happy living child-free.
After all, infertility will mean nothing by the time you're 60.
I know I have so much to look forward to, but all this would be a lot easier if there were more people like you I could talk to.
Well, of course there are. There's a whole world of butterflies out there just waiting to meet you.
But butterflies?
That's what we call ourselves. Girls and women with Turner syndrome, we're butterflies. We're fragile but resilient. We're small but make big changes in the world. And most of all, we come in so many colors. We're each beautiful and unique. Let me show you. There's so much you can find online, like these guidelines. for medical care that can show you and that you can share with your doctors. You can also talk with butterflies on Facebook.
Hi there.
Hi.
When were you first diagnosed?
I was so young I barely remember. What I do remember is being surrounded by doctors. That's how I know.
Me too.
There are all sorts of events that are hosted around the country, from fundraiser walks to casual activities and lunches. And don't forget the annual conference.
There are so many people here.
Well, we aren't going to meet anyone just standing around.
I still have so much ahead of me, and so much I'm unsure of. How many people will I date? Will I ever get married? What will be my first job? Will it turn into my career? Where will I move to? What places will I see? When will I choose to retire? I'm scared, but also so excited. Through it all, I know Turner Center won't slow me down.
I was just a little girl. I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Sarah, Sarah, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera.
Of course, I do need to stay on top of my doctor's appointments.
Pediatric endocrinologist will guide your child's medical team. Once she's old enough, she should transfer to a general practitioner she trusts. She can use nonprofits and other butterflies to help her find the best doctors available. You may find you need fewer doctors than when you were younger, but it's important to get your heart routinely screened, even if you've never had any issues as a child.
Sorry, what did you say?
Better get your hearing checked while you're at it. Many women with Turner syndrome will end up needing hearing aids.
Earlier.
Well,
So, like I said, I still have so much ahead of me. So many choices to make and so many paths I may end up walking down. Turner syndrome will be part of those choices, but not all of them. It is part of me, but does not define me. I am 1 in 2,000, but I am still one of a kind. But not everyone can be 1 in 2,000 like me. I am one of the 98% of those who are never born. So to end my story, I'd like to honor those who have lost their butterflies too soon.
Doctors have come from distant cities just to see me. Stand over my bed,
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera, what will be